Hello, everybody. Welcome finally to the TorDotComAthon live show. Listen, I feel like it has been a struggle. We may have one or two people joining us later, but I love how we changed the date for it, and then two people still were like,
I
"Oh no, actually,
no." We have fewer people than we were supposed to on Saturday.
Yeah, this is going so well. It's okay, it's fine. But we're gonna have a good time, and Erica, in a little while when she's done working, should be joining us. I don't know if it may just be us. We'll see. That's how it goes. This is like the end of month that we're all having, so it's fine. So hi everybody. Hey Renee. That is how it goes sometimes. But we're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk about our group book. We're gonna talk about how the readathon went. Hello. Hi Priscilla. Hi. Oh, we've got lots of people here. Hey Jessica. Hi Nora. I love it. This is great. Okay, Jessica says, my mom and I loved it. Awesome. I've been getting so much positive feedback from people on this novella, which is exciting.
It was a good decision for a group book.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this was a good one. I feel like most people would enjoy it. Hello, Kelsey.
It kind of has a little bit of everything.
It does. It's got an array of things. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. I love that people love it too. It's awesome. But first, I thought we could talk about how the readathon went. So in the comments, let us know, how did it go? So I guess step one, were you able to get a bingo?
Ooh,
did anybody black out their board? Because that's I don't know if I don't think I did.
I did not black out my board because I didn't finish Some Desperate Glory. So I didn't have a 2023 release, and I also didn't have a 1900s release.
Those are the two that I missed, but otherwise I think I hit all of them.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, I don't think I had a Portal Fantasy, and I gotta look at this bingo board. I just did one book per slot, but even with ones that I could have done, it would be a stretch to call any of the books I read fairy tale inspired.
Oh, that was actually the first one I got.
Oh, that's interesting. What did you do for that?
I did Burning Roses.
Oh, okay. That works.
I felt like it was Into the Woods.
Yeah.
It was like a big mashup of fairy tales.
I love it. I know I didn't black out my board, but I know I read a Portal Fantasy. Excellent. I read a Portal Fantasy, but not a
boards together, and we won.
It's great. See, I know I did read a Portal Fantasy in the month, but not a Tor title.
Yeah.
I did get a bingo though. Got a blackout with a little asterisk.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take it. Priscilla says the readathon was amazing for me. I got a couple of bingos, almost got my whole board, but couldn't get hit 1900s release and Weapon on the cover. Okay, fair enough. Awesome. No bingo, but I discovered some great new authors and loved even though I knew the end. Yay, I love that. Got the blackout, yeah, Jessica, and finished with 9 books read. Wow. Yes, you did kill it this year. That's amazing. Love it. Oh, okay. I got 1 whole bingo and DNF'd before I could get a second. Hey, that's all right. That's awesome. Fostering a litter of 8 puppies. Oh my God. Whew. So only read 5, but eat that. Fair. You got to the group book, we'll take it as a win. That's great. Renee read 11 books. Looking at the bingo board now. Okay. A lot of books didn't fit a prompt though. That's fair. That's fair. How many did I read for this? 12. I read 12 Tor titles, which I think is pretty good.
I think I read 7. I doubled up on a lot of prompts.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
I think I read 5 with a lot of doubles.
Yeah.
I also counted like the other tour, like because I had a tour title and a tour teen title.
That's fine. I did that too. That's fine. Yeah, I think the only two that I didn't get to, like the only prompts I missed were Portal Fantasy and Fairy Tale Inspired. Those are the two that I didn't hit. So, yeah. Let's see. Yes, Renee, exactly. Each of the puppies counts as 2 books. That is exactly right. Wow, got a blackout read 16 books, using no book more than twice on the board. Wow. I love it. Oh, that's amazing, Vicky. Oh, yay. And Nevo is now a favorite author and 3 of her books.
So, Bethany, you have accomplished what you wanted.
I know. I have a convert.
The whole readathon was a win.
Right. This was all an elaborate plan to hook more people on Nevo.
That was the only one I wanted to get to and didn't get to was Siren Queen.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Oh, I love that. Able to get some bingos, but missing 4 spots. Got me to read 3 own TBR books you've been putting off. That's great. I love it. Only had 1 2-star. All the others were 3 to 5. Oh, I haven't even looked at that. That's awesome. I love that. I read 0 TorDotCom books in March. Am I allowed to stay? You are allowed to stay for the live, Malka. It's okay. You can stay. Everyone's welcome here. Also finished 3 tour books in April.
It's only the 3rd.
Renee reads a lot. Renee reads more than I do.
Oh my god. Wait,
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. I love it. Yeah, man, what did I rate everything? I feel like I had like hits and misses. It was kind of a mix. And what have I been reading? Because I finished 2. Yeah, I haven't finished any tour books yet. I am rereading one that I like though, which is fun. So, let's see. Hey, welcome. Dropped into a reading slump. Sorry. I hope it gets better this month. That's a bummer. Yes, I'm also curious what the 2-star was.
I know.
Hey, Michael. Reading 2 800 books at the same time. Oof. That's a lot. I feel like those can count as a bingo on their own. That's
right. That's like at least the equivalent of 16 tour books, right?
At least.
That would actually be an interesting prompt for future ones. Is a TorDotCom book that's not a novella.
Oh yeah, which they have.
They do, but they're just not as prominent.
Yeah, that would be fun. That's a good idea. Ended up reading 6 tour titles in the middle of 2 more right now. I love it. That's awesome. It's okay, Renee.
I don't think excessive reading is a problem.
Yay! Also fell in love with Nevo. I love that. Read 3. Hey, take it as a win. 3 tour books in March is great, though. At 127 for the year so far. Well, you know what? I guess you don't read that much more than me because I'm at 126.
You know, up until now, I was feeling good about my 70.
I think I'm around 70 too, 70 or 80.
You know what though? I will say during like the Trans Rights Readathon, that included 2 short stories that were standalones, and I read a bunch of novellas. So like it's not all long stuff.
And you also had February.
February was a lot. I read a lot of books in March too, but the pages were lower. So you know what's funny? So in February, I read like it's because I was just editing my wrap up, so like preview of things to come. But like in February, right, I read 44 things, but I was averaging like, oh god, it was so many pages. Okay, I have this. I can tell you exact numbers. Not that anybody else cares. So it was like an average of 480 pages a day, which is insane. That's a lot. And then in March, I read 41 things. So it's only 3 less, but I was averaging 380 pages a day. So it was like 100 pages a day less. So it was a lot shorter and more days. So
yeah,
it was a better month.
Yeah.
Because better is like under 400. If I'm reading more than 400 pages a day, something's wrong. Like
it's like I need to look at my life.
It's like I need to look at my mental health and find better ways to cope.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's all right. Okay,
my
driving
last
home.
tour book
Erica, we'll
in.
be going. We'll be going.
Yeah,
You
I
can
got
go.
my last tour book in like literally the last day of the month.
Same.
So
yeah,
still counts.
It does. It does.
Which I'm so glad because it was actually like the biggest surprise, I think. It was The Outlaws of Sherwood by Carrie Vaughn. Or The Ghost of
Oh,
Sherwood. Ghost of Sherwood.
yeah.
And I loved it so much. I feel like it's when a lot of people would be like, nothing happens. And I'm like, yeah, but I loved it. Like
right.
it's like very like quiet and character focused and like weirdly cozy, even though there's like a kidnapping in it. Like it was just a great way to end my month. I loved it.
I love that. Oh, this is interesting. A Mirror Mended was your look to start. I
Oh.
didn't like A Mirror Mended either. I liked the first.
Really?
Yeah, I liked
Wait,
the
is that
first
the
one.
second one?
That's the second one.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't like that one either.
It was like disappointing, right?
It was
not a
just
fan.
boring.
Yeah.
Like it didn't do anything to the and I thought it was gonna be like a whole bunch of novellas and then it wrapped up and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. I think so. Renee, you gave it a 3. What happened? You must have been having a really good Oh no. Read 11 books from my readathon TBR in March. That's great. Finished 3 in April. I love it. Read a lot of big books over 500 pages, more than usual. Okay, so that's why I've read more technical things than you. You've probably read more pages than I have this year. Yes. Missed the friendship and didn't care about the relationship with the evil queen. Yes.
Yeah,
Same,
right.
Jessica. Same. I was doing a few readathons in March, and I am a solo reader, but I finished 6 books and started 9. That's great. I love it. Okay, small channel read A Mirror Mended this month and gave it 3 stars. Okay.
I think I gave it 3 stars, but it was a very low 3-star.
I think I gave it like a 2.5, if I'm remembering correctly. And I also read Siren Queen. Yay! I love everybody reading Nevo. This makes me happy.
I'm probably gonna buy it as soon as the paperback comes out in a few months. I've been like keeping an eye on it.
Yes, I love that. If you want to stretch the definition of a genre blend a tiny bit, we can stretch definitions.
Yeah, I counted The Spare Man as space opera, even though it's very much not. I'm like, they're in space.
Close enough.
Yeah,
I think I counted Goliath as a space opera, even though they're not really in space. I was like, they go to space. Some people go to space.
Some people are in space. Sure, why not?
Because it was like the one that was like last, and like I almost got 2 bingos from it. And I'm like,
yeah. You're like, what can I actually count?
Yeah. That's fair. A lot of my reads were novellas, but I love it. Yes, I love this. We had an unofficial second book. I just like how the world expanded and found it not predictable. I had to find time. It was the perfect. Oh, good. Okay. Cool. I read 3 novellas, all 4 or 5 stars. That's awesome. Okay, so I guess here's the question for everybody. What was the highlight of your readathon? Like if you had to pick one book, I have to look at my list to think about this for myself, but like if you had to pick one book that was the highlight for you, what would it be?
I feel like I got to sneak in an honorable mention. So if I look at my actual like highest rated, it was Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna Maguire, which it's been so long since I continued that series. So it was really nice to just like, I don't know. I loved that one. It was so good. I loved that main character. Yeah, and I also like, I've been reading her other series, the one Margaret's talking about, and I'm liking it, but I think that the specific way that she writes whimsy, I think works a lot better for me in the Wayward Children books. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just clicking with that series a lot better, but yeah, I love that one.
Love it. Oh, we've got a lot of people. So I would say a contender is my reread for this because I enjoyed it even more rereading it, even though I knew the end. But I'm going to go with the other one that I rated 5 stars, which was House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher.
Oh.
I had an e-arc of it, and it's so good.
I'm excited for that one.
It's really good. It's like a Southern Gothic horror novel, but it's not super scary. Like it has scenes that are, but it's not over the top, and it's got other plot stuff. It's I would say it's on a similar level of scariness as what's that
the Hollow Places?
Yeah, it's
okay. I could do that again. Because I've been on the fence about trying that one because it sounds so interesting, but I'm like, this feels more horror than some of her others.
It's like, I would say it's like a little more intense than that one, but it's mixed in. One thing I will say though is it does have more like insect stuff, which the main character's not freaked out by because she studies insects. Okay. But there are some creepy insect things.
Good to know. You know, that might be a factor.
But I really liked it. It was good.
Mine would either be Even Though I Knew the End or Ship of Smoke and Steel, which is the first book in Django Wexler's YA, which was the Tortine title that I read.
I need to read him.
I do.
So good.
I know. I have plans.
And they're so queer. Every single one of his series has a sapphic relationship in it.
Ooh, really? Nice. All of them?
Yeah. Well, all of the ones that I've read so far. The only one I haven't is the 1,000 Campaigns, but I have heard that it has a sapphic relationship.
I mean, I've only so far read a novella from him, but it had a sapphic relationship, and I really liked it. So that's... But
it's not creepy the way that J. Kristoff writes sapphic relationships.
Right. No, yeah. Exactly. Okay, so highlights from everyone else. Over the Woodward Wall. Nice. Love it. Mimicking of Known Successes. I'm seeing so many people reading that for it, and I loved this one too. It's so good. Lost in the Moment and Found. Okay. Love it. Really loved the group book, even though I knew the end, but the highlight is discovering Nevo. Yay. Love it. Wanted to do this one, tried to, but too busy. Hey, you know what? Life happens. It's all right. A Taste of Golden Iron. Yes.
I just got this.
It's so good.
It's gonna fit the R Fantasy bingo board just came out, and that was a recommendation for one of the slots, and I was like, done.
It's like super slow burn fantasy romance, but like just know that the point is the relationship. The plot is there to facilitate the relationship, so don't go in expecting an amazing plot and world build.
Fair. So, I just saw the cover and I was like, immediately. Yes.
Oh yeah. It's great. Love this. Shout out to your library for coming through with the loan during the right month. Love it. The group book. I'm glad the group book was such a hit. Oh, The Salt Grows Heavy. I want to read that one by Cassandra Kah. I liked another of their books I read, and it was great. Oh no, changing your answer. Comfort Me with Apples was 5-star in perfection. Okay. I think this was for you. Also liked it. Read for TorDotComAthon. Love it. Hi, Kelly. Gideon the Ninth became your new favorite book. Yes, I love this. Don't think I would have picked it up anytime soon without the push. That's so exciting. It's really good. Oh, is this about House with Good Bones? Renee, it's great. It's really good. You're gonna like it. Hard to pick a favorite, but I'm going to go with Empress of Salt and Fortune because it was a 5-star and first read from Nevo. Love it. Love it. Highlight had to be A Strange and Stubborn Endurance. A close follow is Even Though I Knew the End, which was amazing. Probably never would have picked it up if not for this. I've had several people say this, that they probably wouldn't have picked this novella up if it wasn't the group book for the readathon. So I feel like that is a real success. Oh yes. Definitely read Mimicking of Known Successes. It's excellent. A classic T. Kingfisher with the same sort of body horror. So yeah, a little bit. Yes, more love for Taste of Golden Iron. I love this. This is so great. Group book, easy choice for best read. Okay. Man, I feel like we knocked it out of the park with that one. Is it going to bring down the mood if I ask people if they want to talk about any like a biggest disappointment.
I always love talking about disappointment.
That's an easy one for me.
Yeah, do you want to go first, Brianna?
Yeah, I did not actively disliked The Echo Wife.
Oh no.
I was like, a book this small should not take me 4 days to read.
Oh man.
I see why it works for people, but it was just too detached for me.
Fair enough.
I didn't have any that I like strongly disliked. The one that I guess was kind of the most middle of the road for me was Along the Saltwise Sea. So it's funny, I continued 2 Shauna McGuire series, and it's like I was saying about the other one. Like, it was fine. I just think, like, one of the things that bugs me about that series is I feel like she is pushing so hard for you to like Zib more than Avery, and I'm like, leave my little pocket protector boy alone. He is doing his best. Like,
yeah.
So I think that's one of the things is like even the story is set up to be like, I don't know, like Avery gets some cool scenes. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but I feel like Zib she's almost like a middle grade version of like a manic pixie dream girl. It's like a little much sometimes. But it wasn't bad. It was still like around a 3 or 3.5 stars.
Okay. Fair enough. So I would say, I don't know, this isn't the book that I liked the least, but my biggest disappointment, which is what we're going to go with, is Some Desperate Glory. And it's fine. I still gave it 3 stars. Like, I didn't dislike it. It's a perfectly fine book. I'm just bummed because I wanted it to be better. And if it was a YA sci-fi, I would be like, this is so good. It's better than most YA sci-fi in the market, but it's not YA sci-fi. And so it is very disappointing. So
I feel like that's what a lot of reviews are going to say for that book.
I think so.
It didn't feel like an adult novel.
No. And for an adult novel, it is overly simplistic in how it's handling the themes. The characterization is like a little shallow. The choice of having only one perspective character who is not only young, but like not self-aware
so
and not and yeah, kind of annoying, and like also not aware of the things going on around her. And I'm like, really, this is the perspective we're doing the whole book
for
through?
500 pages.
Oh my god. Anyway, yeah. So it was fine. Like, it wasn't a bad book, but it could have been so much better. That was a bummer. So.
But now I'm curious on to what book you actually liked the least.
What book did I like the least? I did not really like Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. I think this is the novella that showed me that she is just not the author for me. Because I read Jade City and I was like, I don't really like this very much, but I see why other people love it so much and I want to love it. And I was like, well, this is a different world, different thing. Let me try it. Maybe I will love it and can love her like everybody else does. And I was just like, I can see that it is technically well written, but I didn't really have a good time with it. And the things that I found interesting in the story she was telling were not the things that she was interested in talking about. I just think that we're not compatible. So, yeah. But I think a lot of other people will like it.
Yeah. It can also feel good just to be like, all right, now I know. Like, I don't need to worry about Fonda Lee's releases anymore. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's like, sadly, I can't join the hype train, but I'm so happy for everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I can objectively, her writing is good. It just doesn't. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. What? You didn't like the group, of course, Renee.
Okay, wait.
The person to not like the group.
Okay, in Renee's defense, I like really enjoyed it overall, but I have like a significant issue that I keep thinking about. So you're not alone, Renee.
All right,
I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, me too.
I think that if you like if you're not, my biggest thing is that it wasn't a full-length novel and there was so much in the book.
There is a lot.
Like there was so many different things happening that we never really dove into it. So I can see why someone wouldn't like it, because you get attached to a storyline and then we don't do as much with it.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll get it. We'll get into all of it. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars the first time I read it, and then I gave it 5 stars this time. So I liked it better.
So what you're saying is I need to reread it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. No, it's fine. Oh, I love this. Your favorite readathon ever. That's great. Oh no, The Crane Husband. I liked it, but I also can totally see why people might not. I guess is similar. Yeah. Yes, we know yours. Disappointment was Come Tumbling Down. Okay. Was looking forward to getting back to Jack and Jill, and it was just womp.
I agree with that.
Actually. Yeah. Well, and I was saying to Jaded Bookshelf, like, yeah, that's I think one of the reasons why subconsciously I've put off continuing the series, because I know at one point I'll probably have to read that one, and like Jack and Jill were fine, but I feel like they're everyone's favorite characters, and I'm like 1.5 books with them is enough. I am not curious about them anymore.
Oh, Down Among the Sticks and Bones is one of my least favorite of.
Really? That's so. You know what?
I think like, am I missing something? Everyone loves this.
Yeah. I'm like,
okay, so here's what I want to do: unofficial poll from people who read the series. If you liked Jack and Jill, were you a teen goth or emo person?
Oh.
Because I definitely was. And I like Jack and Jill.
I mean, that would track because I was not, and I was not a big fan.
This is my
science.
This is my theory.
Like the grass fields one, and I was a horse girl. So like.
I liked that one fine, but like I wasn't, and so I was like, okay, cool.
I'm gonna have to report back after I continue because I'm really excited for like the Goblin Market one.
That one's my favorite.
I love that
stories.
One.
Yeah, so I love stories that are that kind of thing, and I know a lot of other people didn't like it. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna.
That is my favorite one because I was like, if I had a portal world, this would be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The logic makes sense.
Yeah, I loved that one too.
Yeah,
it was good.
And I also I liked Jack and Jill in the first one, and I thought their second book, or their full, like the story that was all about them, Come Tumbling Down Among the Sticks and Bones. Like I liked that one. Okay, I didn't like it as much as the first book, but it was kind of a similar thing where it's like the world is set up as so like, oh, you never know the right answer. Like everything's bad. Everything's a bad choice. And then at the end, it's like, actually, no. Also, I hate Frankenstein. So maybe that was part of it, is the book was trying so hard to make me like the Frankenstein parts more.
Yeah, I love Frankenstein.
And I'm like, stop it. Dracula's better.
That's so interesting. See, like, I love Frankenstein. See, and this is funny. T and try a 28-year-old emo person. I love Jack and Jill. Jack, Jill, Kick Rocks. Listen, I really think there's something there.
That would these books are a personality quiz is what like
they're a exactly they're they're like a teen Vogue personality quiz. I like them both. There's nothing gothic emo about me. I just like a murderous twin. I mean, fair enough.
Forget your Myers-Briggs personality type. What's your favorite Wayward Children?
What's your Sean McGuire type? Yeah.
Someone should make that BuzzFeed quiz, honestly. That'd be hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get back to where I was, because this is Where Black Stars Rise by Nadia Shamas was a fave and Comfort Me with Apples was a disappointment. Okay. I feel like Comfort Me with Apples, the people who love it, and the people who don't really don't. And I think it's because her writing style is very specific. I haven't even tried it because I have not gotten along well with her writing.
Oh, I was gonna say, have you read it? Because I'd be very curious to see.
I haven't read Comfort Me with Apples, but I like have hated reading her writing in other cases, and I was like, I don't think
that's.
But fair. The people who love her.
Yeah.
So I think
I thought it was brilliantly done.
Yeah, but it's like it's very stylistic. So it's like you've got to like.
The hard thing with that book is you can't talk about that book.
Yeah.
Because like the spoiler of it is towards the beginning of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, if you know, you know.
Yeah. No disappointment. Oh, okay. I liked January 15th, but kind of middle of the road. Fair enough. DNF'd Light Chaser. I liked Light Chaser okay. I gave it 3 stars. It was like I liked it, but it had some plot holes and I didn't love all the flashbacks. It was fine. Zoe, I also loved The Echo Wife. It was like one of my favorite books when it came out, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
Entirely
we can like different things.
Nobody in the live show has hated Nevo yet, so we're still okay.
We're still okay. All bets are off if somebody says something bad about me. No, it's okay. I also know people who didn't like Siren Queen. So
oh no,
it's okay. It is also very stylistic, so I would understand. Okay, I'm glad I'm preparing you for some Desperate Glory. Like, manage your expectations. Go in imagining that it's more of like a YA sci-fi type thing, and you'll probably do better. Disappointment was The House on the Cerulean Sea. DNF'd it at 30%. Hoping for it to feel more like Secret Life of Albert Entwistle or Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Yeah, I haven't read Irregular Witches yet, but I will be very soon. But it's very different from Albert Entwistle, which is an excellent book. Let's see. Okay.
I'm just saying.
From earlier, yeah. I was expecting to love Mimicking of Known Successes 3.5 to 4 stars and was a bit disappointed. Think I wasn't in the right mood for it. That's fair. I do think that one took me a little while to get into the writing style because she also has kind of a specific voice, but I really ended up loving it a lot. I have a significant issue, but what? The smaller issues I can take out. What? I don't even know what this is about. Okay.
A subscription for a magazine with issues.
Oh.
I think is what she gets. It took me until you put the comment up to like get that.
Okay, I was like, I don't understand.
Sneaky one.
Hey, welcome. Okay.
Thank you. I have found my people. Thank you guys. I always feel nervous when I'm going to mention it because people like really love them.
They really do.
They do. I mean, I really like them too, but I think people can like what they like. DNF'd Jade City. Her writing didn't work for me. Listen, I feel like, thank you. I'm not the only one, but I see why people love her so much. Under the Sugar Sky is your least favorite. Interesting. Yeah. You know, I think it might be, I mean, I've never given any of the books in the series a very low rating, but I think actually that might be my lowest rating as well. Of anything in the series. I mean, I still liked it, but I actually think that might also be my least favorite. That's interesting. I felt like they did a fantastic job with everything in the group book, except the final conflict was a bit rushed, but I didn't find I needed much more from the story itself. Okay, cool. Like them, I'm ready to storm the stories. Hella, give me Christopher, take me back to Nancy. Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, I think they're the only ones who've gotten repeat books, and I don't think they're the most interesting characters. Like,
yeah, I suspect they were just fan favorites, and also she liked them, so.
Right.
I like Frankenstein, too. It's good. Love in an Absent Dream. Yeah.
I know. I had forgotten who the main character was, and I was reading the synopsis again. I'm like, oh. But I think I'll still love it.
Yeah. Tried a 90s collection of short stories, and it was much happier with modern novellas. Fair enough. Hey, Beth. Welcome. Never read an Evo, so I can't hear. Well, okay. Everyone should read Nevo. Oh, about the group book. Okay.
The next group book is Nevo's entire bibliography.
It's going to be the Nevo-a-thon. No.
Yeah.
Oh, good, Priscilla. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy them. They're good. Okay, so speaking of the group book, why don't we talk about the group book now that we've kind of talked about all the other things that we've read? Although, actually, maybe I should also announce some giveaway winners. Let me do that. I'll also announce this on Instagram later. Side note that, like, there may be more to be announced because I'm not sure that everybody had people entering all the giveaways because we had a bunch of them. But here's what I've got. The winner of the US giveaway that I was running with Tor for The City Inside by Samit Basu is going to be Sarah Wayseeker's books. Again, I'll post this on Instagram. The winner for Knox, because I'm drawing that too, for advanced copy of The Water Outlaws by S.L. Huang is Books and Cooks. And the winner of my international giveaway for a copy of Empress of Salt and Fortune, speaking of Nevo, is Kristen Crave's books. We only had one person enter the international giveaway, so your odds were very high. Good job, Kristen. So, anyway, so I'll post that on Instagram, and if you are here and you are a winner, DM me with your address, and we will get that taken care of. So, yay! Very exciting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Got that earlier. Gonna be honest, Kara, the fact that Jack and Jill were next are kind of why I didn't consider the series. Oh no. Yeah, I think I've read all of Nevo now. Which one have you not read? Yay! Even though I knew the end was my first CL Polk, and now I'm ready to read everything else they've written. I love this. Yes, I read another CL Polk this month too that was not a Tor title, and I also loved it. The Midnight Bargain.
I want to read that.
Is that
You
connected?
should.
Is that connected to the same?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
It's very different, but it's so good. Y'all should read it. It's like a historical fantasy romance in like Regency England with magic, but really it's a book about women's bodily autonomy.
Yeah.
It's great. So good. I loved it. Yes, congrats to the winners. I love it. I love this. Put the Midnight Bargain on hold about 20 pages into the group book. Yes. Hey, Sister Harlem. Really enjoyed, even though I knew the end. Yay. So yeah, how did everybody do? I know we had mostly hits. We had a couple of people didn't like it. What did y'all rate it? What did you think?
I gave it 4 stars.
I also gave it 4 stars. I loved almost everything about it. Like, it did have a lot going on, but I feel like it was intentional about it. Like, it didn't feel like CL Polk hadn't like figured out what they were doing or like what they were writing, and they were just throwing everything in. I feel like they did a good job of pulling the plot together. I really liked the characters. I loved how even the minor characters felt very like fleshed out and humanized. Like, I really like that we spend time with one of the victims' mothers. Like, I really like the way her character was written. Like, she could have been the main character of a story. My big issue was, funnily enough, the way the ending was written, like the way it was handled, because I feel like it's played off as being really romantic, and I find it like incredibly selfish and also really short-sighted. And I don't know if we want to like hold spoilers, so I won't say
let's
like
hold it for
specifics, but I don't think what they did was romantic at all. I have a big problem with it.
Fair. I don't know that I felt the same way, but I can see why you might. It's fair.
Did either of you listen to it on audio?
This time I did. I read it physically last time, and this time I did.
January Lavoie does the narration, and so I was like immediate, and it's like, you know, the kind of steampunk vibes, and I was like, "Is this the Diviners?" I had to like get myself out of that, but it's like, and it had the similar vibes at the beginning.
Okay.
The audiobook was really good.
Yeah, I thought the audiobook was really good too. It was kind of fun to read it in a different way than I did before. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars the first time I read it, and this was a reread. I ended up giving it 5 stars because I just had no issues with it, and I loved it even I think the thing is too is that rereading it, I could see how intentional everything was and how
Mhm.
from the very beginning, like, every scene was doing work and laying groundwork for what was
Mhm.
coming, and it's just a really impressive novella to me just in terms of writing craft.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed it. I like the characters. There's a lot of world building. There's an interesting plot.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah.
My
I
only struggle
loved
with it was more just a me thing because fantasy novellas I struggle with in general because I'm a very character slash world building type reader. And
Mhm.
so I constantly was like, but actually, I would like you to continue this scene for another 20 pages.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I kind of felt like we were maybe like on fast forward the entire time.
I mean, it is. That's fair. That's fair.
But that's like a me and novella thing.
Yeah, I get it. Kara, you were gonna say something, I think, or
Yeah, I really loved Haraniel's character. I think that's their name. Like, I what a surprise. Like, I had kind of started suspecting something like adjacent to what was going on, but like I love those characters that are like, you humans are too squishy with your feelings. I don't understand. Like, and I also thought it was a really profound and interesting way to talk about the nature of belief, like from the side of like an angel, and I just thought
yeah,
that was incredibly interesting. So yeah, I
yeah.
loved them. They were probably a highlight of
Yay.
the book for me.
I love that. Let's see. Oh, okay, waiting on Into the Riverlands. Nice. Okay, Wordner gave it 4 stars. Based on my read of last year, 5 stars. Renee, 2.5. Okay, tell us more. Tell us more. I think I gave it 4 stars as well. Definitely enjoyed the group book. Wish there was more. Fair enough. Funny thing is, I own all their books already, but haven't picked any of them up. Oh, good. I'm glad this was a push to do that. Jessica gave it 4 stars. Priscilla said, at first the noir style dialogue felt a bit cringy, but I got used to it. Then I wanted a full length novel because I liked it so much. Looking
Yeah,
back, I
yeah,
like it even more. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair.
I haven't read a lot in the noir style like writing, and I thought that was like geniusly done.
Yeah,
It
I
like
thought it was
immediately
pretty
sets the
cool.
tone.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
shows too that like you can write a genre like noir and you don't have to have it be like super misogynistic and racist and like all
Yeah.
the other. It's like it felt very like,
In fact, there are no
period.
men.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really I guess there's not. I didn't even notice. Like there's like no dudes in this book basically.
I mean, her brother.
Okay, there.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's great. See your point, Kara. Girl did not learn from her mistakes.
I have some thoughts.
Okay, we will talk spoilers. Yes, the audiobook was great. Okay, Renee agrees with you, Kara. Interesting. 4.5. My only complaint is I wanted more. I think if it was longer, the ending would have worked better. Okay, fair enough. Liked the group book, 4.5 stars in part because I imagine the voices like the narration for a noir film. Hmm. Bonus, I loved how she talked about coffee. Highlighted all the references. I love that. Have it at 5. Okay. Love that. Read it after some heavy and dark
Mm.
books last year. That's why I loved it. Yeah, that's fair. Thought it was cringy at first and then decided to lean into it. Yeah, I mean, she really gets into the dialogue of the time and place, which I think is kind of cool. Gave me the adult version of Cassie Clare Angel Demon vibes I had been missing. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can see that, but like better.
But then here was
Also, is
nice.
it bad that I shipped the main character and the angel more than the love?
Listen, it did occur to me. Like I mean, I think for being such a yeah. I think for being such a short novella, it actually did a pretty good job of selling me on how important these two characters were to each other. But when the angel showed up, I'm like, you guys have better chemistry. I'm not gonna lie. Like
That's so funny because that was not at all ever how I felt. I don't know what that says about me. I love it. Loved how well the author used the noir style 50s slang masterful. Yeah, I would agree. got more and more into the book. I did think it might be even better on a reread. That's how I feel. I love the idea that a book called Even Though I Knew the End would make a great reread. Yes, well, and I've been like every time I talk about it now, I'm making that like dumb joke of like, even though I knew the end, it was even better. No, yeah,
it works.
Yeah. Nora gave it 5 stars. Okay, I love it. It was so overwritten. No one can even take a drink. They have to toss something over their tonsils. Like, you do not have 800 pages for this Renee. Their writing works for me, is what I'm finding. But I do feel like it doesn't for everyone, which is fine. Wish it was part of a series. Same. I would read more.
Yeah,
in this
could
world.
we
100%.
Fix the end of this one, please?
Yeah. Maddie says, yeah, I don't think it needed to be any longer. No, I agree. I think this was like the right length and amount of time for this story. It was just like really it was brief but like effective and had everything it needed. It was really tight, like tightly edited, I think. But I would for sure read more of it. Okay, let's talk spoilers.
I'm ready. But somebody else could go first.
Yes.
Sorry, I feel like I've been talking a lot.
No, you're good. You're good. It was very much a voicey narrative like that about it. Yeah, I agree. I like this too. LOL Renee on it being overwritten. I think that's what I liked. Yeah, I think that's typical of noir, which yes, I agree with this. It feels very noir to me and I liked it. Also love the writing, want to read the rest of their work. Awesome. That's great. Okay, so the ending. Kara, explain your feelings because I think this is worth discussing. Please.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like the way the ending is communicated to us and like how it fits in with the title, we're kind of supposed to see it as like they choose love even though they knew the end, even though their time is limited and they know that. But my problem with that is that their time is limited because now Elena has made the choice that she does. And so I'm not saying it would have been easy, obviously, to like let the person she loves die, but everyone in this world is kind of operating under the assumption that if somebody loses their soul or sells their soul, then they're not going to get into the afterlife. And so now what Elena has done is she has given up her soul again. She like literally just got it back and she's given it up again so that she can be with the woman she loves. But now when they're dead, they're going to be apart for literally eternity. Like, I just don't see that as like a romantic thing. I see that as very selfish. I think it makes a little more sense with what happens with her brother, but because she says like I don't want him to be alone. But the thing about her brother losing his soul too is like the fact that Elena got hers back and like the demon lady that she was working for, she's like, this has never happened before. No one's ever going to be able to do this again. I don't necessarily believe that. Like, why are we trusting her? The only person whose word we have that her brother couldn't get his soul back is hers, who has like every reason to lie to them. So I feel like, and I know that like humans do not always make logical decisions, especially when people they care about are in trouble. And I understand how like that's one of the points of the book is that like, her brother blames her for what she did all these years. And then when he's in the position, he does the same thing. Like I get that, but I just can't get over the fact that now they're all going to be unhappy for eternity because they didn't want to be unhappy for like a human lifetime. I'm not saying it would have been easy, but it just like really bothers me. I'm like, so as hard as it is to like lose the woman you love now, like assuming that they are correct and that somebody who has sold their soul doesn't get into the afterlife with everyone else, like you choose forever, you choose like short-term gratification. Not a fan. I don't understand that.
See, I think logically, yes, but also like in the moment, I don't know that I would have made a different decision.
Well, I guess to me, it also is one of those things where part of what we're getting with their characterization, right, is that she's very religious. And the other one, like, I can't remember their names.
The main character is Elena. I can't remember the love interest's name.
Okay, so like, but like Elena is not.
Right.
Very, and so I guess to me, my interpretation of it is more like it is more about like that metaphorically of sort of like I love you, we love each other, we're going to love each other in this life even if I never sort of convert to this thing that's really important to you.
I
You know?
think, yeah, and that does make sense. I think if I think about it more like symbolically like that, I can understand the ending more. I think
Mhm.
I wasn't seeing it that way because of the way that the love interest, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. Edith,
Yeah.
is that it?
Edith, I think
Edith.
it is Edith, yeah.
Yeah, so the way Edith talks about it is like she's actually, it's weird, just like she was in the afterlife and then she gets brought back. So I feel like there is more certainty about that kind of thing in this world than there usually is.
Mhm.
And so to me that kind of changes a little bit of like how those like decisions would work. Like, and I'm not acting like I'm the most logical person ever. I would never make a decision like emotionally, like that's not what I mean. I just feel like this is something that is so big. Like to me, if this had happened and I was watching someone I care about die, but I also had just gotten evidence that if I I don't know, if I screw this up, it's like I'm going to feel this loss for all of eternity. I think that would
Mhm.
make me hesitate, even though it would be a very difficult thing. But I do see how seeing it more like metaphorically makes the ending work a little better.
Yeah. That's interesting. Whereas like to me it feels like kind of romantic in that like now they have more time together because she never thought she would even get any more time. Like 10 more
Yeah.
years for her, given what she was expecting out of life, is a lot, I guess. I don't know. It's like it feels like a second chance.
Yeah, but like they could have had a lot longer than 10 years, apparently.
But could
Like,
they? And also, like in eternity, who knows what that's like? Who knows if
I
you're even
guess.
together? You know, like it's not the same thing. I don't
I think
know.
I think the ending would have worked a lot better for me if we didn't have as much information about the way the afterlife functions in this world.
Hmm.
Like I I don't know, cuz it's like if you have the information they do, I just can't see what Elena does as being good or happy for anybody. Like I just can't put myself in the place of somebody who's like I have I am choosing like 10 years with the person I love instead of more, like instead of I don't know. Yeah, anyway. I like loved Elena up until that point and I'm like, we no, I can't no. I just
That's
think that it would
so
have been
interesting.
easier to get her brother's soul back than
Hmm.
to do whatever Elena thought she was doing at the end. But
That's so interesting. But it's like she didn't feel like living the rest of her life like that
that I,
was
I also
something
don't
was
like
she
that
wanted to
though.
do without the person
Yeah.
she loved.
I also though this is a thing I tend to not like when it's like
Hmm.
something that is a romantic sacrifice and it's like I actually feel like this is incredibly selfish and short-sighted. So it might also be like a personal taste thing that I
Yeah,
would have been a very hard sell on this decision anyway, but
could be.
yeah, okay, exactly. Blue black, that's what I'm saying. Like literally like 10 years like you have way more I think evidence than people are used to getting of like what the how things are going to play out in the afterlife. Like Edith was literally just there. Like
Anyway, I know we can move over to I don't know. I liked it, but I hear what you're saying. I just think it's funny. Okay, let me look at all the there's a lot of comments. Hold on. And also hi Erica. Welcome.
Hello.
welcome
Can
to
you hear
our
me?
like
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I'm sitting in the car. There's a fire at the beginning of my neighborhood. So
Oh,
I can't go
great.
anywhere.
Oh my
Great.
gosh.
Okay.
So
That's scary.
I thought I would join
Okay, well
while I'm sitting.
you're more than welcome. Let me catch up a little on the comments, maybe, and then I want to hear your thoughts on all of this.
Okay.
I'm like, we're so behind. Like, oh my god,
I
everybody's
got
saying
heated.
so
I
many
think
things.
that's why.
It's okay. It's okay. It's good. It's good. It makes for an interesting conversation. Want to follow up of the future between them? Yes, fair. Nora liked the style. She's used to all the noir stuff from the 40s. It's not overwritten. It just matched the language of the time. Okay. Also did it so her brother wouldn't be alone. Somehow he got his soul taken. I don't think her brother should have lost his soul in the first place, though. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
That was kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah. I thought Elena was already damned even though she got her soul back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was really unclear. So unless Edith kills an angel in the next 10 years, they're going to be separated anyway, right? That was kind of what I thought, actually.
If that's true,
She
that
was
makes
already
way more...
Elena was already damned. So it didn't matter. They weren't going to spend eternity together.
Right.
I guess I was assuming that Elena, like the way she kept talking about it to me felt more like, well, I lost my soul. There's literally nothing I can do. Like that's why she was damned.
That's the 10-year death marker is the losing the soul. So I think she was damned because she made a deal with the demon the first time. So I don't think getting her soul back meant that she could like. This is a good point, Maddie, because I do think that's true. That I don't think getting her soul back meant that she could then go to the afterlife or whatever.
If that is the case, I think then her choice makes more sense. But I just remember, and I read it from the library, so like I don't have it with me, but I just remember like getting the feeling that even though Elena thinks a lot about how I'm damned, there's nothing I can do, it always I thought it was always kind of connected to her sense of like she's a horrible person, even though she's not, and also the fact that she had sold, that she like did not have her soul, like that it was something that could be reversed, and especially because the way that the demon that she like works for says like nobody's ever done this before, like that to me kind of implies that that is a bigger deal. But
nobody ever got out of the contract, the 10-year contract.
Right, exactly.
But every time you sell, or whenever someone sells their soul to the devil, they are damned regardless of whether or not they get their soul back.
Right.
They still made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, I think it's more like, because I think having the soul gone is more almost like a, what, I can't think of the right word for it, not an IOU, but like when somebody has a contract on you where they can take, so it's
collateral.
More like that. Collateral. Collateral. So it's more like collateral where like if they have your soul, they can take your life in 10 years kind of thing.
Right.
So like nobody had gotten out of that before. And if she gets her soul back, then she can live a normal human life span. I think that's
the still that she made the
but
deal
still,
in the first place
right.
means that she was
It would damn her. Right. Yeah, I think that's right.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I thought, like, oh my gosh, what was her name that she did it again for?
Edith. I couldn't remember her name
either.
Edith was right. Like, Elena was like super selfish. Helena, right? Helena. I'm horrible.
Elena. I'm the same. Elena.
She was super selfish. I mean, if I'm being honest, I liked the ending, but I felt like it could have been done a little bit better. But I understand why she was selfish about it. But at the same time, what's her name? Edith?
Yeah.
There are a lot of books this month.
I kind of feel like Edith, there was something wrong with Edith too. And I haven't put my finger on it other than the fact that she had a fallen angel in her.
Yeah.
There was something else I didn't quite get.
I feel like she's a little naive.
Yeah, and
maybe
someone
that's
in the
what
comments was talking about how weird, Margaret and also Blue Black, we were talking about how weird Edith's reaction was to like be like literally yanked out of heaven or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, hey babe, like you sold your soul for me? Shouldn't have done that." Okay. Like,
she's very she's very sweet about everything. Which
I think
is
I think also kind of like what you were saying, Erica, I think the ending for me would have worked better if we had less information or more, because I feel like there were just enough things that we knew where I'm like, this doesn't make sense, even for like, even assuming that like, people don't make the best decisions when they're very upset about losing someone. It just felt And it wasn't just like the ending itself, but like the way that it was written and the way that that ends the book. I'm like, we're clearly supposed to find this incredibly romantic, and I just don't.
And I am not a romance kind of person, so I did not find it romantic at all.
Yeah. Like
Um,
I can love a good romance, but this to me was
yeah,
not that. But
I whenever there's a romance, just side note, whenever there's a romance in a book, I cringe. So this like ending the way that it did, although I wasn't a fan of the ending, I liked the ending because it was like a happily ever after, but there's gonna be some drama. We know that, and what that drama will be is anyone's guess. But I kind of feel like Edith, yes, naive, and I also feel like I wanted a little more of Edith. To get to know her. I felt like Haraniel I got to know really well.
yeah.
And I liked Haraniel's character, and I kind of, if I'm being honest, I would have loved for Haraniel to come back and be the one. I'm just saying.
But I don't think he was at all interested in that.
I do, and I do like that we get that little reference from Edith about her seeing him there. Like, I thought that was a nice touch that he had, or Haraniel, they had gotten what they wanted.
Right.
You know, like, so I like that. But I also, I thought they were a great character.
Yeah.
I just...
Priscilla, I think this is really interesting. She says, I thought the ending was meant to return to that theme of Elena is who she is, regardless of consequences. That's why she goes around making arguably bad decisions more than once, which, I mean, I think that's also fair.
I think maybe part of it, too, for me is that I was not thinking of Elena as, like, a selfish person for, like, the majority of the story. Like, even though Ted...
really?
Yeah, and the reason is because, like, when she makes the choice about, like, after, like, her family's in that horrible car accident, I'm like, she's, like, 10 years old or something, you know? Like, I feel like that made sense to me. And then I feel like she's kind of one of those characters who, she's like, yeah, I'm only out for myself. Like, I'm only taking the jobs that make me money. But it's like, she does end up helping people. Like, anytime she has, like, an opportunity to do more, she's like, well, I'm not just gonna, like, let this woman lose her daughter, I guess. Like, I guess I'll go help. And so she does that a lot. And I think I was thinking of her as being more that person than, like, the 10-year-old, you know? Like, so that's, I think, one of the things that also kind of hung me up on the ending is, like, that to me went against what I thought I was seeing from her character in the rest of the story, because it kind of felt like Ted was punishing her for this mistake she made as a child, and then it's like, oh no, you do this as a grown adult too. Okay. Like, so.
Yeah. No, I don't think she regrets what she did though. And which I guess is the thing. Like, I don't think she has any regrets of the choices that she made.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah. It was, I guess it was more that, like, I was, I don't know. I guess I was reading a growth arc that wasn't there, because I thought, like, that from what we were seeing of her actions, I was like, yeah, Elena's a good person. I don't think of her as being selfish where it counts. Like, on the surface, it's like, yeah, I think she is very much, like, focused on, like, her and, like, the two people that she cares about. But she's always willing to do a lot of good for people. And I think she maybe thinks of herself as being more selfish than she is, until we get to that ending. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I misinterpreted everything that you did.
That's so interesting, because I still kind of think that's true. Like, I kind of think that I think she's like, maybe morally gray, I guess, but I don't know. I also don't know that what she did was really that. I just don't have a problem with what she did, I guess, is really what it comes down to. Like, I don't think it's really a bad choice. Like, I feel like it allowed them to have more of a life together that they had dreamed about than what they were going to be able to have. And I guess part of it too is maybe like I think I'm also in a place in my life now too where like I'm thinking a lot more about like making good use of the time that I have alive more than having a lot of concern about whatever may come next. And I don't know that that was always true for me, but that's like kind of where I've migrated to. And so for me, reading this, I'm sort of like, yeah, make the most of that time together. Like, do the things you want to do, get that extra, like, I don't know. So it's just, it's different. It hits different.
I think it depends on like the fact that some of us were interpreting that if you get your soul back, then you can go to whatever afterlife there is in this world, in this book. And some of us were thinking that you can't, because that would definitely change my response to the ending. Like if we knew that there was like a strong possibility that she wouldn't have been able to anyway, then like, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I actually think that would be a more selfless choice than the alternative, because now her and Edith are going to get to be happy for as long as they possibly can, and then her and her brother will be together, like, so that I think to me would make this ending feel more like it was maybe supposed to. I guess I just wasn't convinced that that's the information we were supposed to get. But that's true. It's like she didn't even ask Edith. I mean, she was like dying, but
I mean, it's kind of hard to.
I mean, she couldn't ask her brother. She couldn't ask Edith because they had already gone to the afterlife. And she literally made a split-second decision and was granted it. So as a 10-year-old, your mom, your dad, your brother are all gone, and it's just you would naturally wish for somebody to be there.
Right.
And so it's not, I don't think it's selfish. I think it's self-preservation.
Yeah, I totally understand her doing the first one.
Yeah. The second one, it's like, have we not learned from our 10-year-old Elena?
Trauma block.
The answer is no.
And so I was like, at the end, I was like, you did it again? I was like, okay, all right, we'll go with it. And then when Edith came back, I was like, you're just not going to be like, oh shit, you brought me back? Why? Like, you're not going to be a little more angry? You're not going to be even angrier about that?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't, but it was an okay ending.
I also think it's really hard to pull off an ending that like essentially undoes the main goal of the story. Because I didn't consciously think like that's one of the reasons this doesn't work for me, but I wonder if that could be part of it. Is it's like, even though it's a short novella, we do kind of spend the whole story of Elena trying to solve this mystery, and then eventually like she figures out that I don't remember when she starts thinking that she can maybe get her soul back or whatever, but like all of it is focused on that. She gets her soul back, and like literally like 2 pages later she's like selling it again. Like literally she learned nothing, which I guess that may be the point of her character, but that wasn't what I was seeing, and so it felt really jarring to me. Retroactively I was like, maybe I don't like Elena. I'm sorry,
what, Erica?
If I remember
correctly, she said that if she did this job, whoever the demon was, she could have her soul back.
Okay, that's what I thought, is that she found out at some point.
Yeah, and that was fairly early on, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bethany, since you read it.
No, yeah.
So I think she's going through this knowing that, okay, she's going to get her soul back. And then, yes, I think we already said this, that she and Edith would live happily ever after.
But that
and
was
so
the
the
only reason
end,
she was trying to do it, was because
yeah,
she
it's
wanted
that,
to have longer with Edith. Like, that was
right,
like, she had already resigned herself to dying, and the
yeah,
only reason that she was wanting her soul back to live longer was to
it
be
was,
with Edith.
right, and I think that we talked about her being selfish, and I think that is like one of the most unselfish things that someone could do, like put themselves in harm's way for this, um what is it, the white, what's it called, white vampire,
Mhm.
um and potentially die a horrible death, as all of these other people that obviously she found out later were also
That's a
fallen
good point,
angels.
Erica. That's a
um
good point. Because
so
originally she wanted nothing to do with it
yeah,
because it was too dangerous, and the only
right,
reason that she took the case was the potential of getting to live longer with
right.
Edith. That's a good point.
So I mean, at the end, yes, she was kind of selfish. Well, not kind of, a lot, but um so I think that by her doing that, she, even without a soul, showed that she had lots of compassion. And you don't,
Mhm.
for lack of a better word, lack of another way to put it, it doesn't mean that you can't have a soul, or that you have to have a soul in order to be compassionate and to care. It's, you're a human being, and naturally you should be compassionate and care about other people and want to go above and beyond to help people. And that's I kind of feel like that was what part of this was about.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's also, I think about this sometimes, like when you get into, like, where does being selfless cross into hurting other people because you're not taking care of yourself? And
Hmm.
it's a really interesting, like,
Mhm.
gray area, because I also would have thought Edith would be more upset for that reason.
Yeah, but Haraniel was, how long was Haraniel with Edith?
Like a
Oh,
long time.
years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like they've been equally without a soul. Elena has been without a soul since she was 10,
Mhm.
approximately. And Edith has been with an with another
With
being.
another soul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with another soul for, maybe around the same time.
Mhm.
So they've both had something, one had something taken away, and the other one had, I'm trying to put this together without like being confusing, but my brain is confused.
It's kind of a confusing ending, like at least parts of the confrontation part.
So
Yeah.
now they're both without something at the end, but they have each other.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something.
Yeah.
I do kind of agree with this. I thought of it a bit like Elena was thinking, even though I know the consequences of this decision, in the end, I'll always do it again for those I love, which I
Yeah.
think is, and I think that's the whole title of the book, right? Is the idea is that like, and I do think that that's the idea, is that like, even though I know how this is going to end, I would still make the same decisions. I would still like, you
Yeah.
know, like do this for people I love. And I don't know. I think it's one of those things that like you either find appealing or don't as a romantic thing, which I think is fine. I like it, but I get why it might
Yeah.
not be,
I like I can definitely find these kinds of like selfless or like sacrifice, decisions, like very romantic or other kinds of love. I can definitely be on board with those. I think the main issue for this one for me was like, given the information that I am thinking we got from this story, this is not a romantic choice, or like it's not even, it's a short term affection choice, whereas I feel like part of love is sacrifice, you know, and I'm not saying that would be an easy decision to make, and obviously especially when you are in this very intense emotional situation and you have like barely any time to make this decision, but to me it just doesn't, like, I don't think Elena doing what she did is love. I think she did it for love, but I don't think that's I don't know. I don't think it's the way that the story, I think, is meant to make us feel at the end is not how I felt, because I think what Elena did was wrong for herself and for Edith. Like, I just don't think, unless we could know that, yeah, they were never going to be together anyway, I just don't think that's justified. And yeah, I don't know. I thought I was going somewhere with that thought, and I guess I just kind of circled back to like, it doesn't work for me. Yeah, exactly. She's not doing it for Edith at all, because she knows that Edith is going to be happy. And I understand that with her brother, that whole plot line I think was kind of dumb. But like the thing with her brother, that can complicate her decision, because now she doesn't want him to be alone. But I don't know. I don't think like taking yourself out of the possibility of, you know, eternal peace or eternal happiness or whatever. Like, we get so much more information about that in this book than most people have in our real world. I just don't think that getting rid of that is something that should be sacrificed so easily. I don't know.
Assuming
Not
that
it
is
was
what she's
easy.
sacrificing, and I think that's the
Right.
question, is like,
Right.
whether
That's the
that
thing,
was
is like,
even
if
Fun
she had a
easy?
shot or not.
Yeah.
Because if she didn't, then I think it makes a lot more sense. I just didn't get the feeling. I don't know. It's like we have too much information and not enough information, and that's why
That's the problem.
this ending is like not working for me.
Either that, or you just have to do like a really close reading of it to figure out exactly, like, but yeah.
Yeah. Tell us what you meant,
That
CL Polk.
says- What did you mean?
I need to know how mad to be about this ending.
Yeah. Let's see. Beth says, I've heard that from atheists. You don't have to believe in a God or souls to have compassion and see the value in it. That's interesting. Yeah. Yep. Oh man, Erica, how was your readathon in general?
It was I just walked in the house. Sorry.
Sorry.
So it was slow. It was slow. I didn't read as much as I wanted to. I ended up in a little bit of a reading slump, but what I did read, I did enjoy, except for Comfort Me with Apples. That I had heard such good things about it, and I really wanted to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the anyways, we won't get into that. It was just like I read not as much as I wanted to read. I think I only read 3 things. I think I only read 3 things. And I started like a bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got into a reading slump. And nothing, including Ingvo, I couldn't read. So I was like trying to listen to things, but it just wasn't happening. So I appreciate like the things that I've read.
Yeah.
Um,
What would you say is the highlight of your reading?
the highlight?
Mm-hmm.
I only read 3 things, Bethany.
Well, there can still be a highlight.
What's the best of the 3? Like,
What was your favorite of what you read?
It would have to be the graphic novel.
Okay.
Which I drew a blank on the name of it.
Okay. Cool. Oh man, people are still talking about this. This is a very contentious ending. It's so interesting that this is what we spent like most of the time talking about. Maddie says it's definitely not as emotionally poignant as the decision in stories of your life and others, where the main character is the one who will have to suffer loss in the future. Interesting. I think it's the Brotherhood that says, oh, we lost Erica. Says you go to hell for soul bargaining, but I don't really believe them. Okay, yeah.
I think that was part of it. Yeah, I'm like, why? How do they know? Who asked you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there are a lot of questions, and I don't know that we really know. I do think the whole thing is interesting, right? Of this idea that angels can get to heaven by just like trusting.
Yes, I thought that was so interesting that like the angel characters were the ones that the author was kind of using to explore like the idea of belief. Like I loved that. I thought that was so clever.
Yeah.
So do you have a like comp title for people that like this book?
Ooh. Well, I mean, if you want another kind of hold on, let me get, I have something in mind, but it's not exactly the same. But if you like the noir speculative stuff, I do have a suggestion. Let me make sure I'm getting the title right though. Okay. So you might try Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Because it's like her noir vampire story set in a more fantastical version of Mexico with like a really interesting take on vampires plus almost like a mafia crime type vibe.
And I feel like the messy ethics of that one worked a lot better for me. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does also have that, a lot of like kind of complicated, morally gray characters and stuff. So yeah, I think Certain Dark Things would be a good one to go to if you liked this.
That's a good read-alike title. The vibe is very similar.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say if you liked the like angel like dynamic there, Small Miracles by Olivia Atwater.
I love Olivia Atwater. I still haven't read that book though.
That is my fave. Like actually I have a tattoo designed for that book. So like
wow.
I'm really obsessed with her Regency Fairy Tale series.
Yeah.
And me and a friend are going to be buddy reading Small Miracles at some point. So I'm glad to know you loved it.
It was so good.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it has like a similar kind of like angel human dynamic.
It's funny, I don't read a ton of paranormal anyway, but especially the kind of like angels and demons thing has just never been like super interesting to me. But I actually really liked it in this book. I feel like it was just very interesting. I liked it.
Yeah, I don't think I read a lot of them, but I think every one that I do read, I end up enjoying. So maybe I need to discover that.
Or are you picky because you're good at picking what you like? Because like, yeah, I think I'm similar where the ones that I've read, I've actually really enjoyed, and that's because I don't pick up many.
Yeah. That's fair.
Selective.
Yeah. Yay, love Sylvia. Just read Daughter of Dr. Moreau last month. Yes, I love Sylvia Moreno Garcia too. Reminded you a little bit of Dead Witch Walking. Okay. I can kind of see that. Interesting. More heavy on the room. Yeah. I'm glad that overall it went pretty well, because even though we spent a lot of time discussing the ending, I feel like in general people still liked the book pretty well.
I really did love basically everything else. It was like that one sticking point.
The ending. Yeah. Let's see. Favorite Angels and Demons book is Good Omens. Definitely not a comp title. No.
I've yet to read that one.
Yeah, I just suggested because somebody in a Discord was asking for a suggestion. I was like, oh, how about that time I got drunk and saved a demon? Also not a comp title. For
No.
It's very fun though. Yeah. Well, anything else before we kind of close out the readathon? I feel like it's been fun.
Yeah.
It has been. I mean, even though I didn't read as much as I wanted to, I had all of these books planned, but
That's, life happens.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need y'all to tell life to stop lifing. I mean, not like I don't want to die, but
Not now, life. I have books to read.
yeah.
Life to chill. Yeah.
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 I need that on
Maddie.
a t-shirt.
Yeah. Maddie, I think this is good. P. Jelly Clark's Cairo books. I think that could be a good those could be good options as well if you liked Even Though I Knew the End. Not totally the same, but I feel like they have those have kind of like a steampunk vibe to them.
Yeah. I can see where that would kind of work.
Could kind of fit. And it's got mystery investigation and a queer investigator. I think that's a good idea. Oh, okay. I'm just now seeing the private chat, which I was I was gonna wrap up. That's great. Planning ahead, should I be looking for tour titles? Do we hope to do this again next year? Maybe. I mean, people asked for it and I brought it back this year, so I mean, yeah, we could do it again next year.
Are you committed now, Bethany?
Sure.
I don't think we need to like pressure you into hold off on the peer pressure for like a few months. And then
Right. I mean, probably, Vicky, yes, I will probably do it again next year. I don't know exactly if it'll be exactly the same or whatever, but yes. Yeah, it'll probably come back in some form again next year.
I mean, no, absolutely 100%. No pressure, but all the pressure.
Nevoathon 24. Exactly.
I mean,
there it is.
That would be a tour title or two.
It would. That's great. That's great. Yes, life always happens during TorDotComAthon. It does. It does. Read 3. Listen, take it as a win. You read 3 novellas. It's happens. Oh, good. I'm so glad this was fun for people, that people got to things on their TBR. Yeah, I had a good time and I got to stuff as well that's been sitting on my shelves. So it's a nice way to sort of clear out some of my books. I don't know. I kind of want to I think if we do it again, maybe we try, because originally the idea was to try to do a lot of novellas to like quickly get through a lot, which I think is fun. But I have gotten through so many of my novellas now that I'm kind of like, maybe next time we try to read longer books.
It can just be TorDotCon.
TorDotCon, yeah. It's like a 3x3 bingo board.
Right. Jessica, don't worry, Vicky. The patrons will work on it.
I'm gonna have to hop off.
Okay, yeah, we should. Why don't we
thank
just
you.
wrap this up? Yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Sorry, I know not everybody could be here tonight, but this was fun, and thank you all for joining in. And yeah, have a great night. We'll see you later.
Thanks for running this, Bethany.
Yes,
Yes, thank you.